Folks, our guest this morning has worked on over 2,000 United States immigration and naturalization cases for the past 10 years, even though she don't look older than 10. And a legal immigration expert, Shauna Smith, is here to discuss policies, FAQs, and debunking a few myths. What's that FAQ? Good morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. Frequently asked questions. Yeah, why don't I just write that? So morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning, Shauna.
So I guess the questions we are about to ask, you get them plenty, no?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, you know, she doesn't know what we're going to ask. First question is, what you do, yeah, so? Where you there for?
You know, right, the Jamaica, right?
No, we know you're working between the United States and here. Yeah, you work just globally.
Right, because immigration law is federal.
Okay. So the current U.S. immigration climate is a major concern right now. Everybody is on their P's and Q's, whether they should go, whether they should that. What's the status of their immigration, what do you call it? Your immigration file? Or
filing, the process.
The process, etc. The current administration now and the new immigration policies, enlighten us. Where are we and where do we stand as Jamaicans?
Well, as Jamaicans, let's first acknowledge that we do live in one of the most beautiful islands. So sometimes we may not need to necessarily go anywhere. So know that that's said. Yeah. But as it relates to the climate, the immigration climate right now, it's a lot of uncertainty for some persons. They, you know, in most cases just don't understand what's taking place. Now, with that said, there are two things really to touch on as it relates to green card holders, which we refer to as legal permanent residents, and separate from B1, B2 visa holders. So some persons are on edge, especially the visa holders, because they think this is going to happen or that. It's
like fair. A work visa or
a visitor's visa. B1, B2 is visitor's visa. Outside of that, though, let's keep in mind something that's very important, extremely important. It is a privilege once we have a visa of any kind to enter someone else's country, their territory, their workspace. And oftentimes we believe, or sometimes persons think that once you enter the airport or a port of any kind, you're in the country. You're not necessarily in the country. No. It's somewhat of a taboo, not necessarily in the country. Entering the airport means that you have a document that allows you to enter that country. Moving forward, you meet with immigration officials such as CBP, HSI, ICE, etc. They ultimately allow you into their country. So it's really once you pass the airport, then you're in the country.
Which would suggest that I have a legal visa. I get there legally, I land legally, but they can still say, well, you can't.
You can't come in, exactly. Right. You can have a B1, B2 visa, as we refer to as the visitor's visa, and you can purchase a ticket and fly into any state, for example.
And but can we be rejected with a B1, B2, depending on any current immigration laws in America right now? You know, like we get there, can immigration send us back? Even though
that was before.
Okay.
That was from before now, before the heighten of what's taking place now.
So now it's worse.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily use the frame worse.
But
it's just now to it's just now to be more informed on what's happening, because persons do believe that once they have a visa, they can literally just enter. You are at the airport, you're not yet in the country. Yeah. At a port of authority at the
What would turn us back, Shauna? What would tell them or deny us entry into the United States with a B1 or a B2?
Various reasons. I've actually sat and had conversations and interviews, for lack of a better term, with officials, actual Customs and Border Patrol officials who they're, you know, sergeants and lieutenants in their craft. And they will tell you they will have canceled visas on a mirage of different reasons.
But like, give me one, because I'm trying to get like, you know.
Some persons are flagged and don't know it. That's number one.
Oh.
Some persons, their names or their passports are flagged, and then once they take that next trip, it's like, oh, okay, we were actually looking for you.
I have a situation that his dad and the son with the same name, the dad got in some problems. He's fine now, but every time the son goes in, they say, hold on a little bit, come here.
The name is...
And the name is like that. Take me through the filing process. So I file from here or there. I file from up there for somebody from down here. take me through that process. So I want my son to come up, and what I do.
Okay, so this is a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, you live in the United States. Hypothetically, you are either a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. So LPR is what we consider green card holders, right? So you'd either have to be one of those categories in order to file. So using the scenario that you gave, which is your son, the first step, well, I would advise anyone to first seek legal counsel. Don't try to necessarily. Why? Because you'd seek the professionals in the area of expertise that you're looking towards. If you're sick, you go to the doctor.
And it makes it smoother, I'm sure, and you can then
but if I have a cough and I have a little tablet at home, sometimes I just take it and I don't go to the doctor.
And then sometimes
natural remedies.
Okay. No, but take me through the process. All right.
The process.
So I seek legal
advice. In that regard, now just to give you a blanket transfer of what would usually take place upon completing your consultation, you would then move into the documents presentation aspect. That's where you're providing birth certificates. If you're married, you're providing marriage certificates. If you're divorced, you're providing divorce decrees. All certified documents. In most cases, you can provide a copy. Some persons think that it has to be the original. They're not sending them back. Once you provide those documentations, you complete forms. That is
provided to whom?
To your attorney, considering that you've hired one.
Okay.
Once you've completed those provided those documents, you then have forms that you complete. It's a process of forms because you'd petition. That's the first.
I want to jump in for a second. Do I need an attorney, or you're suggesting it is better that I have an attorney? Can I do it by myself?
It is better that my suggestion. It is better to have an attorney.
But if leave out the attorney just for the moment. But where would I get all these papers to fill out and all kind of stuff?
They are found on the United States Immigration Services, either through requesting it from them and they send it to you, or oftentimes you find it online.
So it is quite possible that I can do it by myself?
It is quite possible depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
All right, but we don't have to, so we want to go through it. So basically, we are abroad. He's abroad. He fills out a bunch of paperwork, and then how long is the time before we get a response as to whether or not
that depends on when he actually files.
Okay.
So, and there's a way to check the time also. Most people don't know this. There is a time frame sheet that can be checked based on what you filed, which in his case would have been an I-130 petition, which is a petition for an alien relative. And he'd, of course, check that it's his child, etc.
Do you need to send DNA and all of that to check if it's your child?
That is a very good question. So, oftentimes, persons do not think that they will need to complete a DNA exam or a test, and they do. And a lot of times what happens is they'll then find out that they actually cannot continue with the petition if the child is not theirs biologically.
So you need to get that checked. Okay, and then you would check the time sheet.
Right, you can check the time sheet. It will tell you, because it makes a difference. If you are a U.S. citizen, you do get first preference in often cases over a legal permanent resident.
Ah, okay. And a citizen means somebody that's born there, or you can actually be granted citizenship?
Yes, there are two ways to be a citizen. Either you were born in the United States or on U.S. soil or on military base, or citizen of, and that's called just salé.
The Americans.
Or naturalization.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So that happens now, and then you've been successful. So they send a note to say, okay, your son can go, and then the son can just grow up and would become what?
The son would then go through a process. He would complete a medical examination, interviews, various things. Once, as you said, once that's done and they have approved it, your son will then he would enter as a legal permanent resident.
So he would enter with a green card?
Yes, given when he gets there, he goes through the process they hand it to him.
If I have a green card, I have to live there?
Legal permanent resident, yes, they would prefer that you live there because I've actually witnessed, meaning that's what you are agreeing to. That's
in other words, I'm a
saying.
Canadian citizen and I haven't lived in Canada since 1986, and I'm still a Canadian
But here's
citizen.
the difference: you're a citizen of Canada.
No, that's what I'm asking you about the green card. So do I have to be there all the time, or have to spend X amount of time in the country?
It's usually let's break down the legal permanent resident to the citizen, because you can be a citizen and opt to live in another country. You can say, hey, I want to live here. You get a stamp in your passport. You spend a year. You file your taxes. There's a process that you go through. Now, when you are a legal permanent resident, it's a bit different in the sense that you are actually expected to legally reside here. You're actually expected to legally file your taxes.
And if you don't after a period, they could tell you
they
revoke.
can actually revoke
Okay.
your residency. And it has happened. Persons who actually said, hey, I was at the airport and they said you're no longer a resident.
All right.
And you don't automatically go back to being a visa holder.
Right.
If your permanent residency is revoked.
No, we have to leave it there. But what about those people who are on Facebook? They find a man in America or a woman, them love them have a relationship. This is the one that we have to leave. Me. I want to know how you do that. So you fall in love on Facebook and you want
You fall in love on Facebook.
You can file for them
you
still?
You had to do that one.
Can you file for them?
We have to go.
Oh, man, where do we find you? I want to follow up.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We can look out for you, Shauna, anywhere?
Definitely.
All right.
I'll be back.
All right, you'll be back. Great. Legal immigration expert Shauna Smith. So if you fell in love on Facebook or one of those dating sites, you know the girl that you're dating on that site? Yeah, link her.
You know her.
Get some advice.
We hear from Ranoy when we come back. Stay with us, please.
right.
Soon come.